Hi, it's Steffi, and welcome to Christmaspalooza. This collaboration is hosted by Crafting with Indie Annie Jones. I urge you to go down to my description box. Unless you came here from another list, I'll have the list of all the participants and all their channel names, so you can go check out all their videos as well. Let me quickly go through what I'm going to make and the items you need to do it. We're going to do this little snowman, and I'm going to give you a brief tutorial on just the different steps. I can't make one for this video or it'd be an hour plus video. This little guy took me about 3 hours to make total. But I'm going to show you how to sew on, for somebody that doesn't know how to sew on a sequin, which will tell you how to do the eyes, the buttons, and even this. But I'll still show you how I did that, and I'll show you how I did the nose, how I did the mouth, and I'll show you how I do that edging, and I'll show you what I do to put the stuffing in it. Very basic. You can figure it out on your own, but I'll still show you. And then I won't be able to show you the loop, but I can explain how I do the loop. And that way you'll have a basic knowledge. And then I also have a basic ornament video and a basic edging video, and I'll link those in the description along with the list of all the people participating. Let me go through the list of needed items really quick. So you're going to need a cookie cutter, whatever cookie cutter you want that you want to create with. You're going to need an ink stamp pad and your felt, and scraps are great for this project. You can fit 2 onto a very small piece. You need the seed beads you're going to use for this project. This is what you can get at Hobby Lobby, usually for $2 because they're on half price, at least 1 or 2 weeks a month. And they have these in green, they have these in red, they have these in silver and gold, and I do believe they have a silver lined clear, but I don't know if they have a white. So I usually buy these, and these are the ones that are a little bit more, like $4.29. But again, so you get these and these for within 50 cents of each other when they're on sale. These are 2 on sale, these are like $2.25. But these are better quality, they're more uniform, and they have way more colors to choose from. This, they have your basic colors. I think they might have a pink. They have a few different colors, but it's not the quality of these. But can you use these? Absolutely, and I've done it many a time. I'm just getting fussier now. Like I got an orange, which is a beautiful color for the nose. And then you need your sequins and whatever colors you're going to make. I get my sequins here. I'm not associated with them in any way. And this is their website. So I'm not even giving you a link so I get credit. I'm just telling you, here they are. C, it's a C Cartwrights. They must have needed to Cartwright. I don't know why there's an extra C, but make sure you put a C and then cartwright.com. It'll blow your mind how many sequins they have. And you saw how many I have? I'd say 3/4 of those are Cartwrights. I've bought probably 1,000 bags from them over 20 years. So a bag like this with 1,000 pieces of these, this is hanging down. The bag would be like this. And it'd have 1,000 of the 5mm. It's about $1.50. Maybe $1.75, but I think $1.50. If you get one that's the 6mm, which is the size of the larger ones on the hat, you get $6.50 for the same price. And then the specialty ones are a little bit more, and I believe those are the $1.75. They do sell some seed beads there too, as well as confetti. So you get everything you need out. And then I love to use these bead mats, and these are $1.50 at Hobby Lobby for 3 of them. These are a little bit smaller, but they're plenty big enough for a project like this. And then you need your beading needle, because beading needles are thinner and they are able to go through the seed beads much easier. You can also, when you're doing the loops, stack more beads on them at a time, and they're very durable and last a long time. All your threads, I think I mentioned that. If I didn't, you need your threads, and I get these spools to have different colors. Although I have the spools in 7 or 8 colors in the big ones. And this is one that's 30 years old. I still got quite a bit left on it. This is a newer one. I've got this in A or O and D, because I make fringed earrings, and you have to have the very thin for those. And this is an O, and this is an O, and I also have it in a D and a new O. I literally am set for life on thread. And I got my, if I didn't tell you, these were at Walmart or Hobby Lobby as well, $1.49 for 6 beading needles. So you can go to Hobby Lobby and get everything but your thread. You can get your sequins to a point. You can get your seed beads, definitely. You can even get cookie cutters, ink pads, and felt. But the only thing you cannot get at Hobby Lobby is I bought some thread there thinking it was beading thread. Brought it home and it's what you thread beads like for pearls and stuff like that. I also use this out of the vitamin bottles, these little cotton swathes, and these are really easy to shape into the shape you want and tuck them in as you're sewing it together. So that's what I do. So that's the tools and things you need to make this little guy. So let's get started. I'm going to show you how to do, starting with the stamp. And you just take your ink pad. I like to use silver because it's not as bright. It doesn't make such a mess on your, let's get this camera aimed down so you can see what I'm doing. Let's see. And then you're going to, I like to save as much fabric as I can so I get as close as I can. I usually take the lid and kind of do this and then pull it off, and it gives you a nice imprint. And you do 2 of these for each ornament because you got to have a front and a back. And then you just simply cut that out, and then I always make a bunch at a time. And then the ink, this was a darker ink, but all I do to take care of that ink is I get my scissors and I simply bevel it. I go along the very edge. Felt is different than normal fabric because it's kind of thick, so I just go around and get the worst of, I kind of do that. Just go along the edge, just the front edge. I just take off a little bit. And it's just taking off. See this little bit I'm taking off that's on my scissors? And it's not the whole thing. Now, when I sequin the fronts of these ornaments, then I don't need to do that because the sequins will hide it. But since I decided to not sequin the whole front, the only thing that won't show is on the hat. The rest of this piece doesn't have any sequins covering the edge. So I don't want that bluish black, even though it's black, it comes out bluish purple. Don't want it showing. So I kind of beveled the edge so it would look a little better. You also can wash it. Most of these inks will wash out. And you can just put them in the sink with a little detergent and then lay them on a towel and kind of pat them dry and let them dry. But that's, to me, too much work. So I'd rather just take and bevel them. And then you can use the same thing on the back, use on the front. Or you can use a textured piece like these. I cut it 2 different ways, gives it a totally different look. You can use a patterned felt on the back if you can find one with a Christmas pattern. That'd be ideal. And you want to match the thread for this to the back. Because you see, you can't see what I did. But up here, I used red for the loop, and look. I should have used white. But I left that, I decided to show you that, to show you what it looks like. There's knots all over this, but you can't see it as much because they blend in. Because you cannot go this whole way with the amount of string you'd have to use would be a nightmare. So every so often, I will make a knot. And I'll show you when I show you how to do the stitch, how I do a knot. So let's get started. So we're going to take one of the little snowmen. Anyway, so once that's done, you just cut it out. You just take your scissors and you just cut them out, and then you've got a nice, whatever you want to do, you know, snowman or whatever you want to do. Because I do this to make all kinds of ornaments. Now this one does have the color, but I'm just showing you, I'm not making an actual ornament right now, so it really doesn't matter. And I'm going to take, and I'm going to use white thread for this one. And I don't measure a specific amount because it's really a personal thing. How much thread are you comfortable pulling through? So I just tie a big knot in it, and I leave a little bit of a tail. And what I'm going to do is lay him here so you can look at him while because I got to get this up by my face. I can't see to put this under the camera to tie a knot, and you don't want to sit there watching me tie a knot for 10 minutes. I want to get through this tutorial pretty quickly for you because I know you got a lot of videos to watch. Now, if you're an experienced beader and you've worked with sequins and seed beads before, you probably don't need as much tutorial. But I just kind of have the beginner in mind, and I've got several subscribers that started this beadwork after they found my channel. And I'm telling you, they have become amazing beaders. They've left me in the dust. They say, oh, we have you to thank. I said, oh, no, no, no. I don't even do what you do. I mean, especially my friend Bev. She does the most beautiful beadwork. I mean, it's insane how beautiful this beadwork is. And I've never even done the stuff she does. Look what she made. Look at this pin. Look at this. She made me this pin. Look at that beadwork. I've never done that. It's gorgeous. So there's some talented folks out there. And boy, if I had even a tiny, tiny, tiny bit to do with their creativity, I'm so proud. But they did it on their own. Okay, let me put this. Now this, you can see, you're getting that piece of thread into a very small hole, because for these beading needles to fit through the beads, you have to be able to get a little tiny hole there. But you will find, as you do, first you're like, oh my gosh, that's almost impossible, but it isn't. It's really not impossible. You just got to get used to it. So now, to do his hat, just ignore the black on there. We're going to take these bigger sequins, and I'm going to pull this down so you can kind of see what I'm doing. I'm going to take these are called hologram, by the way. Can you see the color shimmers in them? I don't know if you can. But what you want to do is you want to look at the sequin. And if you don't know anything about sequins, I want you to look at the sequin and see that it's slightly cupped. It's not flat. There's a little bevel around the edge. So when you put it on upside down, it's kind of like cupped up. It's like it stands up. When you turn it the other way, you can see that it's a little cup. Well, you want that cup to be facing up on your project, except once in a while they come in handy upside down. So what I do is I take it, and I usually do this down on the bead mat, but I want you to see it. I go in upside down. Okay, so we're going to come up through the fabric first, and I got a little ahead of myself there. And then what I do is I go back through, leaving quite a gap between the two pieces of thread, because this felt is very porous, and you want to make sure that the thread holds. So you're going to take that bead, that sequin, and you're going to go upside down, because then when you turn it over, it's right side up. And then it goes perfectly onto your felt. See? And you're going to get one bead. Of course, I'm using black with the black for the black hat. And I'm going to go down onto the sequin. Then I take my needle and I get it where I want it. And then I go through just the sequin. You do not want to go through the seed bead, because that seed bead is what holds the sequin on. Now, you'll find, even when you're experienced, you're going to do that at least once or twice a project. Have the seed bead and the sequin fall off because you misjudged and went right back through the seed bead. It happens to everyone. But you try not to do that. Even in the making of this snowman, I did it a few times. Okay, I'm going to try to hug the camera so I can get right under here. Now, I go pretty close because my goal is to kind of make sure that the edge of the sequin after kind of touches the middle of the sequin ahead of it. So I'm going to pull the thread up, and I'm going to grab another one upside down and then tilt it over. Okay. And then I'm going to get another seed bead from over here. Okay. Now, what I do is I take the needle and my finger and I position, hold on, let me get you under the camera. I position the sequin right so it touches the sequin in front of it. And okay, you got it. I looked away to look at the camera to make sure I was in frame. So I'm going to tuck it under, and then go through. Careful of your finger. You will poke yourself so many times when you're starting out. And then pull it. If it goes over top, it really doesn't matter. And if I really want it to go a certain way, then I'll just do that. Okay? And you just keep going. And then I like to outline. Now on this hat, I didn't because they're so big. But if I'm doing like, let's say I was going to bead this whole thing, I would do an outline and then fill it in, because in that way you don't run out of room and have a sequin hanging way over. But on this case, I did. I just went in rows. I went 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. Okay? Now we're going to just leave that behind, and we're going to come down and we're going to do one eye. And what you can do is figure out, once the hat's on there, and you see that that hat is over his eyes, one eye, slightly, you kind of figure out where you want this eye to be, right here, and you figure out where the other eye is going to be. And I'm just going to put one eye on, just so that when because I'm not cutting the thread. Now normally I cut the thread and start over and re-knot it between each step, because I'm making an ornament that's a keepsake and I want it to be done properly. Now I've got another little sequin on here, and he's also upright. See? And I'll get one seed bead from over here. Let me see if I can keep it so you can see. This is really hard to do with the wrong hand from across the room. I feel like I'm across the room. Okay, I'm going to pick it up and do it. That way you can see it, but it's close by. Okay. I'm going to pick it up like this. Okay. And then we're going to let that drop down onto the sequin of the eye, just like we did on the hat. Okay, here we go. I just do a single thread, but I double it up as close as I can get, but not close enough that I leave both. You got to keep an eye on it, because as it gets shorter, you can accidentally tangle and have two threads. So you got to keep an eye on it. So I'm going to go back through the eye. Now this is probably not perfectly placed, okay? I'm just showing you, so we can get the eyes on to do and normally I'd tie a knot there and then go over here, but we're just showing you how I do this thing. And I'm just going to do the little face real quick for you. The rest of it I'm not going to do as much. And I'm going to, again, an upside down sequin and a seed bead. Whoops. It does not want to cooperate with me. Okay, hold on. Here we go. Okay. And I'm just going to pull that thread, pull that seed bead down with the, okay? And that would have to be about right there, just under the brim of the hat. See? And that's why you want the hat done first, but I can't do all of it. This would be this one took 3 hours to make. I don't want to make you wait that long. Now we're going to do the nose. Now this is really fun and so easy. Watch what you do. You just put it between the eyes. Then you get out your orange, and you can use any orange you want. You can use a metallic orange, an opaque orange. This is a luster orange. You want 5 of them. Now, of course, you can do longer or shorter. I did 5. So I'm going to take, and I'm going to go, whoop. Let me take my glasses off. I'm trying to do this with my glasses on. Okay. That's why I like the beading needles. 1, 2, 3, 4. Trying to get that on there. 4 and 5. I do apologize. I have a little bit of an eye issue that makes it really hard, and I think I need new glasses on top of it. So there's your nose, but now that's going to fall off, right? We're going to do the same thing we do on the sequins. We're going to leave one bead on the end out, and we're going to very carefully go through the other 4 beads and go right back through about where we came out. And there's your nose. Now the mouth is just as easy. And it could be a side smirk. You can do this any way you want. And I'm going to get some seed beads over here so we can see them. And you're going to take a seed bead. Make sure you come up through. You're going to take a seed bead and basically go right back where you came out almost. Not maybe right there, whoops, but real close. Okay. All right, and then you're going to put another one. And this, each one will be different. If I did 3 of these before I got one I really was happy with, and none of the 3 mouths are exactly the same. And you don't even have to pull the bead off the needle. You just do that. And then the string will pull through it. Okay. I'm just going to do 3 to kind of show you, but you can do, this is not a normal mouth. Normally I'd do 4. I think I did 5 on this one, but I'm just showing you how I did it. Okay, it's simply stringing the seed beads. Like I said, you don't even have to take it off the needle. You can just do that. Okay. All right, and that's just 3, but it's just to give you an idea. Now we're going to do the holly. And that one is a lot of fun. So let me get all the pieces for the holly. We have a piece of holly that I've snipped the corner off so that we can fit the 3 holly berries on there. We're going to take 3 sequins. Okay. And then we need the 3 seed beads. And then we need 2 green beads. Okay? And what you're going to do is figure out where you want it under the mouth, and you're going to come in and come right in there. Now you got to leave enough room, so we really have to go down. That's too tall. We'll go down just a tiny bit and go back because you want to have enough room under the mouth. Now see, normally it wouldn't pull like that because I would have tied knots. And then we're going to go upside down through the red sequin and get the red bead. All right, and then we're going to go down, and this is how we're going to make our little holly berries. Remember, do not go back through the seed bead, just the sequin. Okay, just the sequin. Here we go. All right, let me get my hand through here, and then we're going to do the other one right there. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to pick up an upside down red sequin and a red seed bead, and then we're going to pull it through. Where'd you go? There it goes. Okay. All right, let's see, it's getting a little long. All right, and even if you don't see the seed bead right there, you see it on the string, you're good. You can just go, you want to center that so it looks right, and then that's your last chance to center it, really. And normally these would be tied in separate knots as well, and they're not. They are all one loose thread, so that's why it doesn't look as tight as it would. But I don't want to make you sit here and wait while I do all these knots, because then I'd be doing all these little tiny videos and stringing them together, and it gets confusing. So let's just, that's one thing you got to be prepared for. This thread will loop up sometimes. Okay, now it's nice and tight. See? Now we're going to do the third holly berry, which is just going to be centered right above these, where I cut that piece off of the holly, the point. And we're going to go ahead and put one more red sequin and one more red bead, like that. And make the top. And this doesn't have to be straight and perfect. You can do it any way you want. And let's pull it through. And there you go. Now you guys still got to finish this off. So I would normally knot that, then come down here, and each of these would be a separate knot. You don't have to do that, but that's normally, when I'm making an ornament, I'm pretty good about, you know, being detailed like that. I just really like them to look, okay, I think I did what I told you not to do, and I kind of pulled that thread. There we go. And then you're going to go back through just the sequin again, not the bead. Remember, the bead is what holds the sequin. I'm trying to get that under the frame. There we go. See? And then, yeah, it's on there. And then you're going to go back up. And you'll get to where you can judge it really quickly. See, even I'm having trouble here. There you go. And then get the last seed bead. And you can just hold the seed bead on the needle and pull. See? There you go. And now is where you would put the buttons. So you'd go here and you do the 3 buttons. I'll do one and show you. But then and another thing you can do on these buttons, I did black, but you could do color if you wanted to. Like if you wanted to do a red seed bead, let me show you that. A red seed bead. Remember, you don't have to, you can just put it on the bead, on the needle, put it in there and pull it. And I'll show you what it looks like with red. So you could do red. See, it gives it a little bit of color. So if you want to do that, you can do that too. You could do red, green, red, or red, white, green. You could do anything. Now, we're just going to snip the thread. Well, we'll just go over to the edge. No, because I have to show you. So we're just going to snip the thread. Which the neat thing is about that, it's all one thread, so I can easily take it all apart later. But we got to show you how to sew him together. So we're going to take and we're going to stick him together. We're going to pretend his hat's done. He's got all his buttons. He's done and looking dapper. And we're going to pick where we want to start. And since you're going to do black beads around here, we'll start right here, because then all you have to do is do white all the way to here, and then just switch out the beads to black. You don't have to do anything special. Like when you get to this corner, you'll be able to tell. It might be you add one white and one black, but you'll be able to tell. And you know what? It's really cool because as long as you only do 1 or 2 beads, you can lightly pull it, take your needle off, lightly pull it out and redo it until it looks the way you want it to. So we're going to tie a little knot, and I'm going to show you how you stitch it together. And I'm going to be real careful to show you because this can be really hard to understand for some people from the videos. It's one of those things, it's almost better in person to show you. But I learned it out of a book. I learned it out of a bead book. And I think that was probably the easiest way because it was done in a drawing. But I'm going to try to make it easy for you to understand. So again, we're gonna tie a good knot, and then what I do is I'm going to start here. I always start where I can do one color for a long time. So I go in between the 2 pieces, like in the sandwich. I go into right under the hat. So I'm coming out right by his eye. See? And then I keep the knot. Well, that's an awful long tail. Where's the knot? Oh, that's not the knot. Okay, here we go. I gotta pull that out. Okay. Then once I come out the front, I'm gonna go. Hold on. I'm gonna go behind the same spot exactly, and come back pretty much where I was, keeping this on this side. It's gonna flop on you, and then I'm gonna pull through. You gotta really keep an eye on that. Pull through, pull that tail, and you've looped the 2 pieces together. See how you've done that? Okay, I've looped the 2 pieces together. Now I'm going to take the white beads. I'm going to put 3 of them on this needle, and you probably can't see that. Let me pull that into frame. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to go back to the back again, almost the same spot. You can do the same spot. And I'm going to pull like this. Remember, that tail got too long. I need to shorten that tail. Okay. Now I pull like this. Now that's what you get, this weird kind of loose. Okay. Now this is the direction I pulled. I'm going this way. Okay, so I'm going to go to the first bead on the end, going the direction that I have to go. And this will become clear why. You're going to pull that through the beads. Okay. And the first couple are a little bit funky because they don't really have any stabilization. Now once you get that first little triangle, you're going to just put 2 on from here on out till you're done. And you're going to do the same thing. Really close, you're going to go back from the back again and pull it through. And again, in the direction you're going, you want to take that outer bead, go up through it, and when you pull it tight, you'll start to see the little edge appearing. See? See the little edge appearing? Now, when you're going to go up a bump like that, sometimes I'll only add 1 to keep it from being really compacted in that corner. Then I'll just put 1, I'll go around, but I'll put the needle, I'll put 1 bead on the needle and then go through and just add 1 bead, okay? And then that means you come back out the bead you just added. You're just going to find that bead, and it's really hard and awkward sometimes, especially with these long needles, but you get used to it. So you find that 1 bead you added and you go pull it through, okay? And that, see, that keeps it from bunching up in that corner really bad. And then once you're going to go up this hump, you can add 2 again. And you do that at your discretion. Whenever you feel it's going to bunch up, you can just do 1. And then here I'm going to add 2 more. And it just pulls itself into that little triangle. And again, going the direction that you're going, you grab that 1 bead. Oops, just fell out. Okay. You find going in the direction you're going, you grab that bead. And it sometimes it'll get tricky. There you go. Okay, see. Whoops, sorry. There you go. See? Ouch, I just stabbed myself good there. Okay. Let me drop the needle. Okay. Now, you're just going to keep going. I'll do 1 more to show you. And you're going to go, you always come from the back. Don't want to make a huge stitch. You can see I'm not taking too much felt, but enough in that it won't tear. But this really nice newer quality of felt doesn't tear as easily as the old stuff. You had to leave a little bit more of an edge on the older stuff. And again, you just go in the direction you're going, the outer one, you're going to, okay, hold on, I'm trying to get it up through there, and I got my hand in between this camera's legs, my iPod, my tripod. There we go. All right, let's see if we can pull that one through, if it's starting to look like the actual, yeah, see? It's starting to look like that little edge that you see here. Okay, and you're going to keep doing that. And what happens if I run out of thread? That's a good question. So let's show you what you do. It's so easy. So let's say you're out of, you want to leave enough thread. When you run out of thread, you're going to run out with quite a few inches, because you have to have room to maneuver. Now, if you have a short little needle and you want to switch needles, you can do that as well. But let's say you've run out of thread. And so you come down here and you open it up as much as you can. And then see where it's coming out, comes out of the thread of the bead right there, right? So I'm going to come up onto the back, and I'm going to pull, loop it around, and then what I do is I go through, like I loop it. I loop this direction a couple times. That's going to catch on everything. Let me warn you. If you have sequins, it'll catch on sequins. It'll catch on the felt. Anyway, you're going to do that a couple times this way, a couple times that way, and then you're going to, when you feel comfortable, you snip it. Now, if you want to put glue on it, you can, but you don't need to. Now, I'm going to show you how you restart it, and this is so easy. So easy, but it's an important step, and I had to figure it out on my own, but why should you have to if I can show you? I didn't have anyone to show me because I learned this well before there was a YouTube to think about. I learned this, oh my goodness, it would have been 89 or 90 is when I learned how to do this. So my husband taught me. He learned because he thought it looked fascinating, and I was a little intimidated, so eventually he taught me. All right, now you've got a new knot, a new thread, right? So you're going to go back inside. Now, if you get to where there's not much left and you can't open it anymore, like you're here, then you just tuck it under. But, or you just come from the top. Like you can come from the top if it's either way. And I just get in here and I go back up through that same bead. From either inside or outside. You just go up through that same bead. But if I try to put the knot on the inside while I can. So I will go from the inside when I can, and I will, it's harder to do, oh my goodness, hold on. There we go. So you're going to get it back through that bead again, the one that you came out of when you ended the last stitch, because you got to start where you left off, see? And then you just keep going. You add two more beads, two more beads. And you want to make sure you only go a little, like a bead's width at a time. It's kind of time consuming. I think I only put one bead on there. Okay, well anyway, you get the point. So, so what do you do to stuff it? So what I do is I get half of it done. Like I will go, or at least a good amount, like I will go from here around to about here. Okay, because you don't want it falling out while you sew. And then what I do is I take this soft cotton, and this stuff's so easy to work with. I just make a circle. Okay, I just make a little circle. And then this is all sewn, so it's all kind of a nice, I tuck this in there like that. Just a little piece. Then I do the same here and here. I just fit as much as I can without it bulge. To your taste, you might want it really fat. You might want it to barely be padded. And I just put it in. And I don't usually do it though till it's pretty well, like this piece I might not add till I'm up here. But I sometimes I'll add it sooner. It kind of sticks in there. It's pretty good about sticking in there. And then as you finish sewing it together, you get that slightly, see how it's just slightly padded. You know, I don't stuff it. You can. There's some I stuff more than others. But this cotton, if you get a new bottle of vitamins and you get one of these, this will do a couple ornaments. So if you buy a lot of vitamins, it won't take any time at all to have plenty of cotton. And like I said, ask everybody you know, hey, can you save me the cotton that comes in your vitamins or medications or whatever you get cotton in, because this stuff works so much better than the cotton balls I used to, because this one's more malleable. See how you can just basically shape it. You can't do that with cotton ball cotton, but you can do that with this. And it'll pretty much stay right there. You could do it before you even sew it together if you wanted to. It's not going to fall out. So you can do that. But that's how you make him. And then to do his loop, I'm going to just show you on this existing one how I do it. But I'm not going to actually do a loop. What you're going to do is pick an area, and I hang it on the needle till I find the place it hangs the best. And it was at the tip of the hat. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go in the back in the spot you want to, and you're going to go on one of the bottom two beads for every loop. You know how there's a triangle. You're going to go on one bottom, you're going to pull your string through, you're going to put 6 inches of beads, and then you're going to come back on the opposite side of that triangle on the other bead. So you came up through one side of the triangle. So like if the triangle, let me show you, it'd be easier to show. Oh, and another tool that's really interesting to have, and it's kind of weird, is a dryer sheet. If you have a lot of friction or a lot of static, those sequins will stick to your hands like glue, and you cannot get them off. Keep this and do this when it's like that, and those sequins will not, your hands feel silky soft too, and you will not get the sequins sticking to your hands. But let me show you real quick in a drawing. I think this would be easier for you, so let me show you real quick, and then that will be it. That's the end of our little tutorial, and I think you can do great things. But basically you're going to take, and here's the bottom bead, right? And then you have a top bead like this, right? See? You're going to come up through this bead, put your 6 inches of beadwork, and then come back down through this one, pull it tight, and then you're going to go around and around and around, and then take the thread and go around and around and around, and then one more time this way and cut it. Pull it tight and cut it. And if you use the same color thread as you did the back, you will never see it. That was the mistake I made here, is I thought, oh, I'll use red thread, that'll be pretty. And then there's that. Now it's a handmade item, so that's okay. But let's say you want to make these to sell. That's not what you want it to look like, right? You don't want it to look like that. So they are a little fuzzy. You can even, you know, kind of shave the felt a little bit if you want to. But that's it. It's that simple. And I hope you enjoyed this. It's still a very long video, and this is just showing you the basics. If I had done the whole thing, it would have been probably 2 hours or 3 hours, even if I'd cut parts out. So I hope you enjoy this project. I hope you'll leave a comment or a question in the comment section below. Please like my video, and if you'd be kind enough to check out as many of the other artists creators in our collaboration as you could, and be kind enough to like their videos if you enjoy it. And if you really like a channel, including mine, you can subscribe, and it's always free. It's if somebody asks you to be a member, that costs. But most of us don't even have memberships. It's just subscribe to my channel. It's free. And there's a little notification bell. If you click that notification bell, then they'll let you know. And you can pick if you want all notifications, and they'll let you know every time a video is dropped by the creator that you're subscribing to. Thank you so much for your time. I hope you enjoyed this video, and you'll come back to see more. I've got a lot of really fun videos or projects coming up that I'm going to make videos of, and I hope you'll come back and see. Anyway, thank you so much again, and I will be back soon. Bye.